Have you ever heard of the male G-spot? There is a walnut-sized gland that is a treasure trove of nerve endings, and when stimulated can lead to stronger, longer, more intense orgasms and a whole lot of pleasure, and it is located very conveniently in your butthole. If you are someone who is curious about exploring a bit of butt stuff, then this video is for you. I'm gonna break down prostate massage, why it's awesome, how to broach the subject with a lover, and exactly what to do to get the most out of this potentially very deeply pleasurable experience. It is the 21st century, and a lot of men are curious about having their anuses explored, which means we're throwing out all of the shame and stigma about what brings us pleasure, right? Right? Being open to experiencing different sexual practices with your partner and exploring all of the many ways that our bodies can receive and give pleasure is hot. And it is a surefire way to keep the spark alive in any romantic relationship. Unfortunately, exploring male anal pleasure definitely has a history of stigma. For a while, and still today, it is associated for many with gay sex, and lots of men tend to be a little insecure about bringing it up. But let's be real, regardless of what your sexual orientation is, you deserve all of the pleasure that your anatomy has to offer. And as I have said before, buttholes are democratic. Everyone has them. They're not specific to gender or sexual orientation. They're wired to feel good. So let's let ourselves enjoy. Also, if you haven't seen gay people lately, we're cool. Definitely follow our lead. Okay? If you are a little bit hesitant to try it because of the stigma, breaking down how you actually feel is the best place to start. Having your anus explored isn't a threat to your masculinity. It doesn't say anything about your sexual orientation or who you are into. If it feels good, it feels good. It is as simple as that. If you have a strong sexual bond with your partner, she probably wants to bring you pleasure. And exploring new things to do just that will strengthen the intimacy between you. And the same way you get off on making her squirm, she will probably love all of the amazing new sensations that prostate play can allow her to bring to you. Before we get into the how, let's quickly go over the benefits of this practice. Because yeah, it feels good. But the cool thing about prostate play is that it might also be good for you too. Number one, benefit of prostate play, heightened pleasure. Remember all those nerve endings that I mentioned earlier? Well, they are a potential source of intense pleasure. For many men, stimulating the prostate provides a totally different type of arousal than standard penile stimulation, and some of them report it to be very deep and even a more fulfilling sensation. Benefit number two, stronger, more intense orgasms. Prostate stimulation, especially during sex or masturbation, can lead to more powerful whole body orgasms. A lot of men describe their orgasms as more intense and longer lasting when incorporating prostate massage. I mean, it is referred to as the male G-spot for a reason, and some men are even able to reach orgasm from prostate stimulation alone. Benefit number three, increased ejaculatory control. When it comes to gaining control over your orgasm, knowledge is power. And prostate massage can help men tune into their bodily sensations as they lead up to orgasm, which in turn can help them learn to control it. And finally, number four, increased intimacy. Anytime you explore a new sexual experience, either solo or with a partner, you are building trust and intimacy as well as strengthening your bond. Asking for a new type of pleasure can bring you closer to your partner, even if you end up not exploring it. Chances are she's going to love that you are able to talk about new places that you want to go in the bedroom. And of course, if she doesn't want to explore it with you, no harm, no foul. You can always explore it in your solo practice. I am going to address the rest of this video to you and a partner because having someone else to provide you with this prostate massage is definitely a little easier on the wrist, but everything that I'm sharing here is valuable for you to try on your own, whether you're single or your partner is not into it. Sex is cool, it's multi-layered like that. What supports this over here can support that over there. So without further ado, here's everything that you need to know going into a prostate massage. Number one, consent and communication. If this is new to you or to both of you, talk it through. Talk openly about what your desires are, what your boundaries are, address any concerns that you may have. Talk about feelings, talk about hesitations, talk about whether one or both of you is a little nervous. The more you put out there before giving it a go, the more you make sure that you're both on the same page. Number two, address hygiene concerns. Look, all of us know what the primary function of the anus is, and when it comes to anal play, most of us are a little nervous about, I'll just say it, shitting the bed. The thing is, if you explore anal play, there's always a small risk of poop. And with that being said, there are a lot of things that you can do to mitigate that risk. The first thing to do is to consider timing. Would I want someone up my bum the day after I've had a big spicy dinner? Probably not. It's best to explore this kind of pleasure if you've already had a bowel movement beforehand, preferably after a few meals in a row with a lot of fiber. Practicing good hygiene is also important for everyone's peace of mind. You don't necessarily need to douche ahead of time, but I definitely would recommend a shower if this is new to both of you and it's something that you're nervous about. It's also important to go into it with clean hands and clean toys and be mindful of giving toys, fingers, mouths, etc. a really thorough clean afterward. If you want an added layer of protection, you can always use gloves or a condom, and it makes cleanup that much easier. Number 3, lubricate. Unlike the vagina, the rectum doesn't produce any natural lubrication, which means that you're gonna have to have some handy. I always recommend finding a lubricant that is specifically designed for anal play, and definitely stick to water or silicone-based lubes if you are using condoms or latex gloves. High quality and pH appropriate lube matters here because no one wants an irritated butthole. Number 4, use proper toys. Now, if you are using toys, if you're opting for a toy rather than a finger, it is so important that you get one that is specifically designed for anal play. Anal toys have flared bottoms, which ensures that they won't get lost up in there. Because unlike the vagina, the rectum is the beginning of a series of tubes that goes all the way up your body, all the way up to your mouth. And yes, things can get stuck in there. If you don't believe me, ask anyone you know who's ever worked in an emergency room, and they will tell you about all of the things that people came in with stuff stuck up their butt. It will shock you. So please use something that is specifically designed for what you're doing. And if you don't know someone who works in an emergency room, I imagine Reddit would be a great source for a lot of those stories. Number 5, go slow. When it comes to exploring any new body part, any new sex act, slow and steady really does win the race. And nowhere is that more true than the anus. You want to make sure that the muscles around the anus are relaxed, so I recommend starting with an anal massage. I've made some resources on that. I'll put the links in the description below. Being gentle and working up to pressure helps you to find the sweet spot. Start with circular motions, some sweeping motions around the anus, on the anus itself. Take time to get the body used to having sensation. Massaging the anus is actually deeply pleasurable on its own. It is a great way to pace the experience and make sure that when you go to insert something, whether that's a toy or a finger, the body is relaxed and prepared to receive with ease. And for some folks, this will not happen on the first attempt. Be sure to respect your body's pace and do not force anything. Number 6, find the prostate. Once you are warmed up and relaxed and ready to enter into the experience, it is time to locate the prostate, which can be found about 2 to 3 inches inside of the rectum towards the front of the body, so towards the belly button. Slowly insert a lubricated finger or a toy into the anus. If you are using a finger, you can feel around by curving your finger towards the belly until you feel this small firm bump. It really does feel like a walnut. You will be shocked at how accurate that description is. This is where you want to focus your massage. Hopefully your partner can let you know that you are on the spot because it will feel different than any other spot in that area. It's always good to start gently and work your way up to firmer pressure. And remember, if you're doing this with a partner, communication is key. Don't be afraid to ask questions or give directions based on what feels good. You might find that your prostate is a little bit further up than your partner's lady fingers can actually reach. I've had that happen to me before. Like I have to push really hard to get on it. I can't really get there. Having a toy handy can help to create the experience that maybe your fingers cannot. And if you're doing this on yourself, some of us are just not flexible enough to get a couple fingers far enough up inside of our body in order to actually stimulate the prostate. So again, this is where toys are your friends. Number 7, explore different sensations. Once you're comfortable with the anatomy, it's time to experiment with some different touch patterns. Some men prefer a steady circular movement, while others might prefer rhythmic tapping. Some might prefer a come here motion, sort of similar to how you might stimulate the G-spot. It's going to take a bit of experimentation to find out what works best for you. It's worth noting here that you can actually combine prostate massage with different types of stimulation. So your partner can be stroking you. They can go down on you while rubbing your prostate. You could use a toy on yourself. You could use a hands-free toy. You can combine stroking the penis or oral sex with a prostate massage. You could use a vibrating toy. Be open and communicative about different ways to explore the sensations that this sex act can bring. Again, move slow. What feels good without something in your butthole might feel very different, might feel a lot more intense with something in your butt. You never know until you give it a try. The bottom line is that many men report incredible amounts of pleasure from having their prostates massaged. And if this is something that you're curious about, you should absolutely try it for yourself. Just remember to approach it with communication, patience, and a focus on safety and health. Prostate massage isn't just a source of pleasure. It can be an exciting opportunity to get to know your body, to build intimacy with your partner, and enhance your sexual exploration. It might just be the thing that opens up a whole new level of sexual satisfaction for you. Let me know what you think. Check out my resources on anal massage in the description. And while you're down there, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I'm Caitlin B. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you here next time.